The Cleveland Browns are cursed. There's not much else you can say about it. They are cursed as an organization because nothing ever goes right for Cleveland. So if you have not heard, quarterback Deshaun Watson will have to have season-ending surgery, which means his year is done, and they're going to have to roll with P.J. Walker for the rest of the year. The $230 million guaranteed man will have to miss the remainder of the season. And that is not a good sign at all for Cleveland, and really their season as a whole might go downhill without Deshaun Watson, because we have seen the play of P.J. Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and it is not on par with Deshaun Watson. And that's not even saying Deshaun Watson has played well this season. He really hasn't played great, but the replacements have been even worse. So the main reason why I say the Cleveland Browns are cursed, really as an organization, if you look at really what has happened the last 20 plus years for Cleveland, nothing has seemed to go right, regardless of who they have at the quarterback position or really who they have on the team. Because Deshaun Watson, before going to the Cleveland Browns, was universally recognized as probably a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Some people had him a little bit higher than just the top 5, but I think universally we could all agree Deshaun Watson was viewed as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL before everything that happened transpired and before they traded away the draft picks and gave him $230 million guaranteed, which is just a crazy thought. Everybody thought it was a good quarterback. When he came back last season, he did struggle, and people, including myself, I was one of the ones that said give him some time, right? He missed a whole season, then missed another half a season. Give him some time to get back into the rhythm of things. He didn't have a full training camp. And that's pretty much where I was. I was still high on Deshaun Watson, saying I know it wasn't a great year last year, but he'll be okay coming into this season. He had a full training camp. He had a preseason. And this season, he has not played particularly well. He hasn't been awful, but he has not been anywhere near that elite quarterback that we have seen in Houston. But then in week 3, against the Tennessee Titans, he sustained an injury to his shoulder, a torn rotator cuff. It sat him out 3 weeks. He missed 2 games during that time period. One of those weeks was a bye week. He came back week 7 against the Indianapolis Colts, and he went right back out with the injury again to that same shoulder. So in his defense, he has been beat up this entire year, but this goes back to nothing goes right for Cleveland. It does not matter who's the quarterback. We have seen it time and time again. Quarterbacks are good either before Cleveland or after Cleveland, but for whatever reason, while they are there, while they are a Cleveland Brown, things have not worked out. And the Browns are in a tough spot moving forward because this is a team that was supposed to compete and win now. They lose Nick Chubb. You had to go and find other replacements to replace Nick Chubb. That has not worked that great neither, right? Now you had Deshaun Watson. You got to go and find replacements for Deshaun Watson. That has not worked that great neither. And they have a team in the salary cap structure where they're pretty much going to need to compete. Now, Deshaun Watson is on the books for $63 million next season as a cap hit. You would have to assume over the offseason that will be restructured. Maybe they could get that down in the $20 to $25 million per year range, make most of their guarantees a signing bonus, and there you go. That will save some money and some flexibility. But the Browns are in a cap situation where they are trying to win as quickly as possible. They're not trying to waste years, waste time. They're trying to win. They're trying to win now. And even when they're trying to win, something will go wrong, and something has always gone wrong. And in this case, something has gone wrong. And that is the question. Now, with this going wrong, can Cleveland right the ship? Can they still somehow compete? Well, you take a look at the numbers. Deshaun Watson, like I said, has not been the greatest player in the world, but they are 17th in yards per play with Deshaun Watson in the game. That drops all the way down to 31st in the league without Deshaun Watson. They are also 5th in rushing yards per play with Deshaun Watson in the game. That also drops below 30 when Deshaun Watson is not in the game, which means just having that threat of Deshaun Watson opens up a lot more than just being able to throw the ball. It allows you to be able to run the ball as well. And without a Nick Chubb there, you need all the freedom, all the room possible, right? So just having that threat that Deshaun can go crazy, it is a thing. And to say that he can't, we've seen it last week. Deshaun Watson looked awful in that first half. Sustained the injury to the shoulder, had an ankle sprain, and then in the second half went 14 for 14 against one of the better defenses in the NFL. So we know that talent is there, but once again, that Cleveland Brown curse exists. There is a thing. And we don't know how this whole season is going to play out. If you ask me, I think unfortunately, this is going to hamper Cleveland's chances of making a run in the playoffs. Can they still get there? It's going to be tough. I still think they will have the edge over a Cincinnati Bengals team, maybe. I don't think you're going to catch Baltimore, so it is a tricky situation. We'll see what ultimately ends up happening, man. But all I know, like I keep saying, Cleveland is cursed. And if you're a Cleveland Brown fan, man, I sincerely apologize because it has to be rough. No quarterback, no situation has worked for over 20 plus years. You finally get a quarterback that you think is at least top 5, at worst top 10. And even then, bad quarterback play, bad O-line play, can't get things going offensively very much. So it has not looked very good. But you guys let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. What do you think, Cleveland will make a run without Deshaun Watson? Or do you think it's time to pack it up and this year is pretty much going to be over? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. It's D Lloyd. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.